Welcome to the balcony garden. Excuse the noise. I live in a very busy urban area in London, and as you can see, surrounded by buildings. So getting direct sunlight can be a challenge, and space. But even in this space, there's a lot that you can grow. So if you have a small space like this in a city and you're wondering what to grow and you don't necessarily get much direct sunlight all through the year, this video might help. It's now April 10, 2022, so early spring. And as you can see, I still have a lot that's green. And almost everything has survived through the winter. So getting to the top 10 list, number 1, my favorites, are the Leeks. These are leeks that I have regrown. So I bought them from the supermarket, ate most of it, and then put it in this pot. And it's just grown from the base. And I've harvested at least 4 times from these 3 leeks. And this is the latest one, this big one. And 2 of them are actually about to flower. So that's the little flower bud over there. And this is the second one. And leeks are part of the onion or alliums family. So I've also been growing spring onions, and those are, I would say, number 2 on the list. And you can grow them all in one bed. This is a small bed, but it's just a tub that I'm reusing. And again, the same, I bought from the supermarket, ate most of it, and then put the base in. And it's not looking great at the moment, but I have harvested from this quite a bit, so I'm gonna put in some new spring onions. So those are my top 2, and this is something you can use in your cooking almost every day, every week, and they grow very fast, even in the cooler seasons. Number 3 is, I would say, mint, or anything in the mint family. So that's lemon balm here. Again, made it through the winter, and it's great for making tea. It smells wonderful and very low maintenance. My other mint, I'm not quite sure exactly what kind of mint it is. Sorry about the noise. I think it's spearmint, and again, survived the winter. I make tea with this all throughout the year, even in winter. Obviously, it grows more slowly in winter. Number 3 is sage. Sage, I think, is in the salvia family, and very good for colds and respiratory conditions, and tastes great. I actually have two of these, one here and one here, and it did have a lot of powdery mildew issues over the winter and the wet seasons, because the leaves are sort of furry and they don't like humidity or water touching them. But now it's growing back and looking much more healthier. Forgot where I was. I think this is one, that's 3. Number 4 is nasturtiums, and I've got a video that I made, maybe a couple, where I made a bouquet from this. I made a salad. It tastes a little bit like mustard or wasabi, so it does have a strong taste, but I love it. So it's edible, and I have the variegated variety here, which I've managed to keep the variegation, and very beautiful, very low maintenance, highly nutritious, and very easy to grow on a balcony. I think that's number 4. Number 5, nettle, stinging nettles. Again, highly nutritious, medicinal for all kinds of conditions. And if you try and find a nettle tea in the store here in the UK, it's not easy to find and it can be expensive. But if you look around, nettle grows almost everywhere, and it's regarded as a weed, but it's actually not. And it likes soil that's full of nitrogen, but that's all it needs. I have had trouble keeping this going, but it's still alive, and I make tea with it. Number 6, I would say, is lavender. Lavender is, I think, a Mediterranean plant, so I wasn't sure that it would survive on my balcony, but it's been here for almost 2 years, and I have it. The space where it's at is the section of the balcony where it gets the most sunlight, so it does need maximum sunlight. So if you do have this, put it somewhere and make sure it gets the most sunlight, because it is a Mediterranean plant. But it's still here, survived the winter, and there's lots of new growth you can see, and it should flower soon as spring arrives. Number 6, rosemary. Similar in terms of its requirements for direct sun, so that's why it's there. And it slows down a lot, the growth over winter, I've noticed. And it's only recently it started growing again, but another Mediterranean plant that's surviving on a balcony in London, which is amazing. So this balcony doesn't get much direct sunlight, especially in winter. And so that's number 6. And number 7 would be thyme, which is over here. Again, thyme survived the winter and powdery mildew and various issues, but the oregano next to it didn't. So that suggests to me that maybe thyme is more acclimatized to this environment, or I don't really know, but it was covered in white bits, but now I cut it back and it's coming back healthy and growing. Unfortunately, the oregano next to it didn't, but there's a little bit of growth. So I think that's number 7. Number 8, I would say, is a sweet box. I don't know what the scientific name is, but this is the only one that's not edible on my list, although I'm not sure, I haven't checked whether or not it's edible, but people use this for hedging, and it's the flowers are they have a fragrance, little white flowers, and you can see the leaves are a very good dust trap. I haven't seen this on any other plant on my balcony. This is the only one that just seems to collect a lot of dust. So maybe if you're trying to capture a lot of dust and prevent it from going somewhere else, maybe into your living room or your bedroom, wherever your balcony is, maybe this is one to put in front of your window, because it just seems to have that quality. It just traps dust and it's still growing. And when you'll notice when it flowers, it smells delicious. So that's number 7. 8 is, 8 and 9 are 2 annuals, so at least in my environment. It's parsley. I think this dies back in winter and comes back. Again, another edible. and this is a curly leaf variety. I haven't had it for long, but it just grows back so quick, and another nutritious edible herb that you can grow on a balcony. And then a similar one, an annual in this environment, is coriander. When it warms up, it bolts and doesn't survive the heat. It didn't last year, so here I think it's a cold season, or it prefers the shade or the cooler climates. So coriander is number 10. And as a bonus, I will add microgreens to this list, and I don't have any at the moment, but this lettuce here started out as microgreens, but then it didn't. I had issues with germination, so this is what's left, and it's now growing actually quite well. And this is like a mix lettuce, leaf lettuce, and you can see there's it has some reds and some greens, so it's a mixed salad, and in the right climate. And if I had done it properly, this would have been a microgreen, or it will keep growing and I can harvest from it. It's what they call cut and come again, so if I think I can cut from it, it will keep growing. So that's the bonus. And yes, microgreens are a bonus, and I've got videos on how I grow microgreens on my balcony if you want to go back to my channel and have a look at that. So that's top 10 edible, mostly edible plants that you can grow in an urban balcony, small space. I think the last time I counted, it's about 18 different greens I'm growing here, and I've been doing this for about 2 years, and almost everything has survived. Even through the cold, we had snow, wind. It hasn't rained as much as it used to, and as you can see, I'm in a very much densely populated part of a city with not much direct sunlight. It's southwest facing, so I do have that advantage, but the direct sunlight is very much limited, and I don't get much afternoon light. I do get some morning light. And yeah, I hope this helps for anybody who's thinking of setting up a balcony garden. We're entering into spring 2022, and I grew most of this from cuttings, or I got them from as seedlings from a local city farm where I volunteer, Oasis Farm Waterloo. I reuse materials for my pots, buckets, all sorts of things. I don't really buy, I haven't bought much that's new. Everything's being reused or repurposed. I haven't bought soil since 2020. I just reuse. So it's really easy to do this, and it doesn't cost, or it shouldn't cost much. So try it. It's very easy, easier than it maybe seems. Very enjoyable too. It's a real pleasure and escape, and you learn a lot from it. And it's a small scale farm. I describe this as the world's smallest farm. That's how I see it. So I hope you have enjoyed this or learned something from it, and good luck with your balcony gardening efforts, and thank you for watching. Bye.